All right, let's talk about leadership. Now, over the last few years that Regarding Hope has been around, the leadership structure and leadership here has changed rapidly from year to year, just because we've been moving from a baby church planted by a missionary and a church planting person into a mature church with a diversity of leadership. And we're going to talk about that for a second, but first I want to address the subject that I know is on everybody's mind. If I become a member at Regarding Hope, if I become a member of this church, does that give me a vote? Do I get a vote on things and all that kind of things? Well, just so you know, Regarding Hope and really the church of Jesus' church is not a democracy, it's a theocracy, which means we follow Jesus Christ. Whether 300 people think we should follow Jesus Christ or just 3 people think we should follow Jesus Christ, the goal of the church is to follow Jesus Christ. Now, of course, you would hope that there would be a lot of alignment in the church, but that's the point. The point is not to build a democracy, but to follow Jesus Christ. Now, we attempt to do that by several leadership structures, and you got to know that no leadership structure guarantees perfection in following Jesus Christ at all. It depends on the people. It depends on people listening to Jesus Christ, the people in the church, the people in leadership positions. But this is how we're structured. We're trying to structure as much like the New Testament as possible. And so we have at our church elders. We have about 5 elders at the moment. Wade Thompson is the lead elder. So the eldership has a fourfold purpose. Their purpose is to be spiritual guards of the church against bad false teaching or false teachers. So if I start teaching rubbish, stuff that's not in the Bible, then it's their job to confront me about it. If somebody walks in these doors and starts purporting and encouraging people with bad doctrine or bad theology or bad doctrine, then the elders need to address them and say that they need to either be quiet or they need to go somewhere else. So the elders are kind of like the spiritual guards of the church. They're also spiritual shepherds. So Wade, as the head elder, is also kind of overseeing all the pastoral care ministry that's taking place here at Regarding Hope. So spiritual guards, spiritual shepherds, they pray. They pray about the spiritual climate and growth and maturity, and basically they work to keep things on track. So that's kind of what the eldership does. Now, we also have deacons, and deacons are servants. And now I got to tell you, at Regarding Hope, at this moment, the deaconship is very underdeveloped. But deaconship in the New Testament is these people who come along the side of the leadership, who are dedicated to the Word of God and to prayer. And they said, no, we're going to help with the very practical service of the church. Stephen Irwin is a deacon here, the head deacon, and it's an underdeveloped thing, but we want to continue to develop that more and more. We have got a board of directors because we are a charity, a company limited by guarantee charity. And so we have, at this moment, 5 directors, and the directors make the business decisions. They do strategic financial planning and hoping to get the money to go in the right direction. So at the moment, working on some financial goals, because, for instance, I would like to see us be very proactive in how much money goes towards foreign missions and the mission trips that people here in the church make. And so that's thinking through strategically where we want our finances to be going for outreach, for ministry in the city, for evangelism, and also covering all the bills so that we can maintain a good testimony of Jesus Christ and not be financially defunct or corrupt. And make sure that we stay financially accountable as well. So that's the directors. Now, hands-on ministry is the leadership team. And the leadership team includes staff and interns who gather together on Tuesday mornings, and they talk through issues, and they plan events, or they plan services, or they plan outreach things, or they supervise those sort of things that are going to be taking place, and they report on them, refining things like the kids ministry, and kind of a lot of the practical behind-the-scenes leadership work takes place by the leadership team, helping people to use their gifts within the church. So those are the kind of the things: the eldership, the deaconship, the business people, and the leadership team. So my job is to teach and to lead this church accountable to the elders underneath their authority, I am an elder, but I'm not the head elder. Underneath their spiritual authority as the guards of this church, I am accountable to the business people, and I attempt to lead the staff team to advance God's kingdom and to help this church become healthier and more effective. I try and teach the Bible faithfully as possible, and that's sort of my role. So how do we make decisions? Well, a vast majority of the decisions are really, this is your church. What do the people in this church think? What do they want? Well, I don't care what color carpet it is. I know some people do, and some people are going to be way better at that. Actually, we don't choose the color of carpet here, but those kind of things. Do we want to do an outreach together as a church? I'm sure I could spearhead something, but that's kind of something. Is this something we want to do as a church? And those kind of things are. We want to hear from people. We want to get feedback, and so whether we put out information or questions via the city or things like that, we are going to be seeking for feedback on some things. If you have opinions about things, of course we want to hear them. This is our church, and we are together trying to follow Jesus Christ. But some of the decisions, like, are we going to read the Bible? Are we going to have prayer times? Those kind of things, we're not going to vote on that kind of stuff. We're gonna just try and keep those things simple. Are we gonna have eldership? We're not gonna vote on that kind of stuff. So most of the things we can get opinions on, but I know that as a church, God's blessed us with some unity and being on the same page thus far. If you have any questions or any feedback that you want to give, it's always welcome. You can send it via email or on the city.